This is Miss Marycielo. Today we are going to learn how to use adverbs of frequency. That's our topic. It says, let's start with a question, okay? How often do you watch movies? This question, how often, is asking you about the frequency, right? That you do an activity. Let's see, how often, frequency. Let's talk about this. For example, how often do you watch movies? Maybe you like watching movies, but maybe you watch movies every day. So you can say, I always watch movies, right? Or maybe I usually watch movies. That is the idea. This question is asking you about the frequency that you do an activity. Maybe you don't like watching movies, so I never, right? I never, or maybe I rarely watch movies. Another question, listen to me. For example, how often do you read books? Maybe you hate reading, right? So I never read books. Maybe you love reading, so I always read books. This how often is talking about the frequency. Let's continue. So here we are going to use some adverbs that we can say that they are the most common, right? Look at here. The first one is always. As you can see, we have numbers, so you can identify also the intensity of the adverb. Look at here, 100%, always, the first one. Okay, it means that you are that you're completely sure, guys, right, about something. 80%, it's a bit less, and it says usually. 60%, often. 40%, sometimes. 20%, hardly ever. And 0, never, right? So we have these examples of adverbs, guys, that you can use talking about the frequency, right? That you do an activity. Let's see. Let's put into practice, guys. Don't forget, we are going to use the adverbs to answer the question, how often? How often do you cook, for example? Let's see here. How often? Sorry. Okay. How often do you cook? So let's see, guys. Maybe you like cooking, right? So I always cook. That is the idea. So you are using the adverbs in the sentence. I always, I usually, I sometimes cook. Let's continue, guys. Next one. So what is the position or what in this case is the structure to use these adverbs? Look at here. When we have, well, in this case, it applies for almost all the verbs except the verb to be. So no verb to be, right? What is the structure? First, we have the subject. What is my subject? It's a person who performs the action. I, for example, you, we, they, he, she, or it, right? Subject. Then we are going to use the adverb, for example, always, usually, sometimes. Finally, the verb, right? And then the complement, extra information. Look at here. Examples. She always plays tennis in the morning. So she, my subject, always the adverb, and the verb is plays because of the subject, right? The third person. Next one. They usually have lunch at work. So look at here. The verb, and before the verb, we are going to use the adverb of frequency. Before the verb, the adverb. That is the idea when we have all, well, for almost all the verbs except the verb to be. It doesn't apply for the verb to be, Because for the verb to be, we have another structure. Let's see. Look at here. When we have the verb to be, guys, I mean am, is, or are. It depends on the subjects. Look at here. That is my structure. First, the subject, right? I, you, we, they, yeah. Then the verb to be and the adverb of frequency. Look at here, for example, she's always late for work. Yeah, subject, the verb to be, and then after the verb to be, we are going to place the adverb of frequency. After the verb to be, no before, after. So verb to be, after, right? Verb to be, they are after, often hungry. So that is my adverb of frequency. Look at here. The position is a bit different, so you have to pay attention. In this case, we are using the verb to be, but in the previous case, we were using all the verbs, right? Except the verb to be, for sure. Okay, let's put into practice, guys. Let's start. The first one, for example, it says, I'm late on Saturdays. Okay, don't forget, guys, we have to use first subject. Here, we don't have verb to be, so it's a first case. First, my adverb, and then my verb. So, what is the answer? The adverb, and then the verb, right? So, I usually, the adverb, and then the verb. Get up late on Saturdays. Let's continue with the second example, number 2. Jared, late for work. Look at here, guys. Verb to be, okay? This example is a bit different. So Jared, then the verb to be, and after this verb to be, my adverb, guys. So Jared is never late at work. Don't forget, when we have the action verbs, right? The structure will be different. When we have the verb to be, we are going to change a bit, but the idea is almost the same. Just the structure is changing. Let's continue, guys. More examples, okay? Okay, look at here. It says, I usually go to the park. Pay attention. We are going to read this information first. We put frequency adverbs always immediately before the main verb. The main verb, guys, is the action, right, of the sentence. So, for example, what is the action in the first one? What is the main verb? Go. So according to the rule, we are going to place the adverb frequency before the main verb. Usually. I usually go to the park. Exception, guys, with the verb to be, right? In this case, the frequency adverb goes after. So that is the exception here. Let's continue. Let's recognize, guys, the main verb, okay? We don't often eat in a restaurant. Main verb, eats. So before eat, we are going to place the adverb. The same. I am, right? Am, guys. Verb to be. After the verb to be, we are going to place my adverb of frequency. So you need to recognize first the main verb and everything will be easy for you. Next one. She is sometimes studying in her room. Okay, maybe the verb to be, right? So she is, and after the adverb sometimes. Do you usually go shopping? The main verb, go, before in this case, right before, usually. That is the idea, guys. First, recognize the main verb, and then you have to analyze the ideas, analyze the structures to place the adverbs of frequency. Let's continue, and to finish, guys, we are going to practice. We are going to practice a bit. Let's see, guys. Here it says, we go to the mountains and never. What do we have to do? We are going to place these adverbs in the right position here. Here. Okay? For example, it says never. What do we have to do? Let's move these words into the sentence. So we go to the mountains. In which position? Maybe here at the beginning, maybe here, here, yeah? You are going to tell me according to the information that we have learned. Don't forget, first, you need to recognize the verb. So what is my verb in the sentence? Go, right? So in this case, before go, it's the adverb. So we never go to the mountains. That is the idea. Always, guys, recognize the verb. The boys play football on Sunday afternoons. So the main verb, play. Before play, we are going to place the adverb of frequency that in this case is always. Another example, okay? Let's see this one. It doesn't rain in the summer. Often. So what is the main verb? Rain. Yeah, it's rain. And then before this verb, in this case, we are going to place the adverb of frequency, that is often. So it doesn't often rain in the summer. Okay, guys, so complete the other examples so you can practice as well. I hope that you have enjoyed the class. It was a pleasure. And that's all for today, guys. Bye-bye. See you soon.